Welcome back, guys. Today we'll be looking at a new program on the Keil software, and today we'll be looking at how to use the memory locations. So here we have the Keil software over here. Let's start a new project. So let's make a new folder, P3, and today we'll be looking at how to make subroutines as well. So let's give the name P3, and let's choose the controller. So we'll be working on 8051, so let's choose it, 8051AH. okay, so we don't require the startup.a51 file, so we won't be adding this file to the target file. So here we can see this is our target source group 1. So let's make a new file. So this is a new file. Let's save this file as sum of squares using subroutines .asm. So we'll save it as a .asm file, and we'll add this .asm file to the source group. So we can select file types from there, and then you can see sum of squares file comes up. So let's add it over here. Now we can see this added over here. Yeah. So first what we are going to do is that we are going to take up data from memory location, some random memory location from the external RAM. So we'll see how we can take data from the external RAM. Okay, so let's take a memory location. Let's choose a memory location 4550. so let's take it as move tptr comma hash 4550h. So here we are accessing the external memory, so we'll be taking the data. Let's take 10 data from this particular memory location, and we'll square those numbers, whatever data is there at these memory locations, starting from 4550, and then we'll square them, and then we'll take the sum of it. So let's say if you want to take 10 data, definitely we'll be using a loop, and for the loop we'll require a counter. So let's use a counter, move r7. So we'll take r7 as the counter, move r7 comma hash 0 ah. A because A stands for 10. A is 10 in decimal. A0 is in hexadecimal. Definitely we are giving the inputs in hexadecimal, but the equivalent of 0A in hexadecimal is, in decimal is 10. So we have taken, so since we have to run the loop for 10 times, we have taken 0A. Now we'll require 3 registers for keeping the sum. Let's take r6 for the lowest byte of the sum, move r6 comma hash 00h, move r5 comma hash 00h, and move r4 comma hash 00h. So r6 is for the lowest byte, or the and r5 is for the higher byte, lower byte and higher byte, and r4 is for carrying the, keeping the carries out of the sum, which means it becomes the third byte of our result, right? I think we can now start with the loop. In case if we require to initialize any data, then we'll do it later on a later stage. For the time being, I think this much is sufficient. If we require anything, we'll do it as we do the program, as we write the program. So let's start with the loop. So let me give a label for the loop, back calling. First step that we have to do is either we can call the subroutine, or we can take the data from the memory location dpt 4550 using the dptr. It's up to you guys. So here let me just take the data into a register, move x a comma at the rate dptr. At the rate dptr stands for it's pointing to the memory location 4550, which is inside the dptr, right? So the data comes into a register with this instruction. Now we can call the subroutine. So we can use L call or A call as your choice. That's your choice. Let me give the subroutine name as sqr square, and then after squaring we can call another subroutine for summing it. So let me call another subroutine, L call sum. Okay, so we didn't write the directive org 000h. So this is the starting location from where we are going to write the program. So we have two subroutines we have called. Now within the loop we will have to increment the value of dptr. So we'll give the instruction inc dptr, because in each loop we need to get the next value or the next memory the data at the next memory location, right? So in the first loop we are getting the data from 4550. In the second loop we will be taking the data from 4551, and so on as the loop continues. So I think this is it. This is enough for the entire loop. Now we can close the loop. We can give djnz r7 comma back. R7 is the counter which makes the loop run for 10 times. So I will give the instruction djnz decrement and jump if not 0 r7 comma back. So this will make the loop run for 10 times, and it will each time it will go to the label back, right? Now since we are done with the loop, we can also write few instructions for storing the result at certain memory locations. Let's say we can store at in the external RAM itself, we can store the data, the result in the various memory locations. So let's write some codes for it. So let me initialize the dptr to a new memory location, move dptr comma hash. Let's take a location near to it. Let's take 4570 hash 4570 h. So we'll be storing the result at 4570 701 702. Sorry, 4570 4571 4572. Now let's store the highest byte at this particular memory location. It's your choice. You can either take the lowest byte and then the next byte and third highest byte, or you can go in the reverse order. It's up to you. So let me take this as move a comma r4 will be having the highest byte after the execution of the program. So I'll give the instruction move a comma r4, and then I'll put it into the particular memory location 4570. So I'll give the instruction move x at the rate dptr comma a, which will put the data into 4570, the highest byte which is stored in r4, into 4570. Now I'll increment dptr so that I can store the next value, increment dptr, and I'll take the data from r5, move a comma r5 and then I'll move it into the memory location MOVX @dptr comma a, which means that the dptr is pointing to the memory location right now 4571, and the data that is there in A will be copied to that memory location. Next I'll again increment dptr and I'll take the data from R6, move A comma R6. The data, the lowest byte of the result will come from R6 to A, and then I'll move it into the memory the external RAM memory location. R6 increment MOVX @dptr comma A. I think this sums up our entire program. We'll have to write the subroutines right now, right? So let's write the subroutine at a different location. So let me give the instruction org 0200H, taking a new memory location and writing the subroutine. Now here I'm going to write the subroutine SQR. SQR is the label of our subroutine. So SQR. Now in square, whenever we have to square a number, we'll have to take the number in both A and B. So here we can see we have given the instruction MOVX A comma dptr, the data from the memory location 4550 comes into A. Now this has to be moved into B as well, so that we can use the instruction mul AB, right? So what we'll give the instruction move B comma A, which means that the data is getting copied from A to B. So now we have the data in both A and B registers. Now we can give the instruction mul AB, right? And then we can give the instruction return. So that ends up the first subroutine. We have squared the number. The lower byte is in A register, A register, and the higher byte is in B register of the result, right? The lower byte is in A register, higher byte is in B register. Now let's write the next subroutine. So let me take a new memory location org 0300H, right? Now I'm going to give the instruction. I'm going to write the label sum. Yeah, now I need to sum these datas, right? The low byte is now there in A register. I'll have to add it with R6. R6 is the register which is going to store the sum of the lowest bytes. So I'll give the instruction add A comma R6, and then I'll have to move the result back into R6 because A will be used for many other applications. That's why we have kept R6, R5 and R4 for keeping the sum. So I'll give the instruction because when we do the addition operation, the result comes into A register. So we need to give the instruction move R6 comma A, right? Now the first part is over. The lowest byte is done. Now we have to go to the higher byte. So I'll give the instruction move A comma B, which means that the data that is there in B will now come to A, where B is the higher byte from the previous square, right? So that data comes into A, and then I'll add it with R5, right? One thing you need to note is that here we won't be using add instruction, we'll be using the add with carry instruction, because if there is a carry in the previous sum, that has to be also added in this case. So we'll be using the instruction add with carry. So add with carry A comma R5. So the data that is there in R5 and A gets added, and the result comes into A register. And now we'll have to move it back to R5. The result has to be moved back to R5. So I'll give the instruction move R5 comma A. Now after this we need to check whether there is a carry out from this higher byte also. So what we can do is that we can give the instruction JNC, jump if no carry, jump if no carry to a new label. Let's give down as the label, and if there is a carry, then we are going to increment our register R4, which carries the third byte. So if there is no carry, then we'll directly jump into the next instruction, which is over here. So we'll give the label over here down. Now I think we are done with the second subroutine as well, so we can just return from here. So I'll give the instruction RET. So since we are done with our program, we can give the last directive, that is the end directive. So I think we are done with the program. First we have moved the data from 45. We have given an immediate data with using the hash 4550 to DPTR. R7 gets the value 0A because we need to run the loop for 10 times. R6, R5, R4 are initialized as 00 because they'll carry the sum by the end of the program. When we start the program, we take the data into A register from 4550 using the instruction movex a @DPTR. We give the two calls, I'll call SQR and I'll call sum. Increment DPTR. Increment DPTR means we are incrementing the value of DPTR, which is 4550 becomes 4551, and then in the next loop we'll be taking the data from 4551, right? This is the closing statement for the loop. DJ insert R7 comma back. Back is the label, R7 is a counter, and DJ insert stands for decrement and jump if not 0. So till R7 becomes 0, it will decrement and then it will check whether it is 0. Since if it is not 0, it will jump to the back memory location. When it becomes 0, it does not jump, it comes to the next instruction. So then we have written few instructions over here to store the result, right? We have taken the data from R4, R5 and R6 and we have stored it at memory locations 4570, 71, 72, right, using these instructions. Then we have written the subroutine. In the first subroutine is for squaring, so we give the instruction move B comma A, which means that the data that is there in A will also be copied to B, and then we have multiplied A and B. The result comes in A and B itself. The lower byte comes in A, the higher byte comes in B. Then we have returned, and then we have written the next subroutine for summing, where we have given the instruction add A comma R6, where the lower byte which is there from the multiplication will get added with R6. R6 is initially 0 0, so the lower byte just gets added to 0 0 and we move the result back into R6. The next loop onwards, the previous lower byte and the new lower byte will get added, and here we have taken the higher byte to A because we can do only addition with A register, and then we have given the instruction add with carry, because if there is a carry out from the previous summation or addition, we need to consider that as well. So we have given the instruction add A comma R5. Then we have given the instruction move R5 comma A. We are storing back the result, the higher byte, into R5, and then we have given the instruction JNC down. If there is a carry, then we need to increment R4, otherwise you will just directly go into the next instruction, which is labeled as down, which is RET, which is returning from the subroutine, and that ends up our program. So let's save this program. After saving, we'll give translate, build, and then rebuild, right? Once we are done with all these functions, we'll go with debug session. So we'll start with the debug session over here, and first we need to take the memory location. 4550H. Yeah, so this is the memory location 4550H from the external RAM. So we need to put data in here, only then you can take the data from these memory locations. So let me put some data. Let me take 52, 4C, 5D, CE, FF, 65, 5C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8A, 9B, and 7, 6. So I think they have entered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, we have entered 10 data. Now we can start with the debug session. Since you have entered the 10 data, these data will be taken up in the program. So let's look at it step by step. So in the first instruction, DPTR has got the value. You can see it over here, 4550. And then with the next step, R7 gets 0A, R5 gets 00, R4 is 00, move A comma, move X A comma at the DPTR. A gets the first value. You can see 52. 52 is the first value you have entered over here. Then it goes into the subroutine. It has jumped to the subroutine. Now in the first instruction is move B comma A. So now B also gets the same value, 52. We run the multiplication instruction. The lower byte is in A and the higher byte is in B register. After the multiplication, it returns, and then L calls sum is a new subroutine. It goes into the subroutine sum. Add A comma R6. What happens? The result now comes into A itself, and then R6 comma A. R6 gets the value 44. The next instruction, add with carry, move A comma B. That was the instruction that was executed. So A gets the value 0A, sorry 1A, and then it is added with R5, and then it is moved into R5. So R5 gets 1A value, JNC down. Since there is no carry, it directly jump to down, and then you have your return instruction, increment DPTR. So DPTR now become 4551. Now DJNZ was executed. DJNZ decrement R7. So R7 became 09, and then it moved to back label. Again A gets the value, next value, which is 4C. 4C from here, 4C is over here. So the next value is moved into A. Now next instructions move B comma A. So B also gets the value 4C. Then we have mul AB, which gives the result comes in A and B together. A gets the lower byte, B gets the higher byte. So A gets 90, B gets 16. Again, then we have return instruction, goes to L call sum, goes into the subroutine, add A comma R6. What happens? We get A, the lower byte will be added with the previous sum, and the new result is D4. Now D4 will be moved back into R6. So you can see D4 comes in R6, and then add with carry A comma R5. So the 16 data that is there in B is moved now into A, and then we have add A comma R6. The previous value plus new value gives 30, and that is moved back into R5. Again, since there is no carry, it jumps down. Now yeah, so I think we'll go a bit more faster now. I think you have understood this, right? So yeah. So you can see this are the instructions that are being executed. Each time the loop is being run, and finally we have done with the program. So you can see the results over here. EC is the lowest byte, 1D is the R5, and 03 is R4, which is the third byte. If you look carefully here, you can see at 4570 is this particular memory location, right? At 4570, this is 67, this is 68, 69, 6A, 6B, 6C, 6D, 6E, 6F, 70, 4570 you have 03, 71 you have 1D, and at 72 you have EC. So this is the final result that we have got. So you can see this. So this is how we can write this program. I hope you enjoyed and you understood this program. If you have any doubts, you may ask, you may message me or call me. Okay then guys, we'll wind up over here. Thank you guys.